Hey guys, welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew, and in today's video, I want to talk about one product that has made my life on the farm a lot easier and has helped automate my watering system here for my little farm. And that is this Melnor water timer, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
So why don't we go somewhere only we know?
So as you can see here, I've got a lot growing on, as they might say. I've got a lot of carrots, I've got some green beans, I've got some kale, I've got some chard, I've got lettuce all the way down at the end of this plot that you can't even see on this video. So a big issue that I've had to start this season has been my my watering sprinkler system here. I expanded it from last year. Last year, I only had half of this field plot with sprinklers, so about 50 feet worth of sprinklers. And when I expanded this field plot this year, back another 50 feet, and I added more irrigation lines, I noticed that my water pressure was just not very good anymore. And I was panicking. I didn't realize, I didn't know what to do. And my wife just looked at what I was doing and she said, why don't you just turn off, one row of sprinklers and run one at a time, one, zone of sprinklers at a time. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I started doing that, and sure enough, the water pressure in the sprinklers started spreading like they were supposed to and covering all of my beds, and that fixed the problem. But the problem I had was the water timer that I had been using is this one zone orbit water timer, and in order to turn off one row of sprinklers, there's a little knob that you could turn off the line and then only keep one on. But every time I had to do that, I had to come out here and turn one off, turn the other on, and it was very time consuming, and there's other things I need to be doing other than coming on, turning my sprinkler on and off all day long. And another issue I had with that orbit timer, which worked great, but the smallest, the closest interval for the timer was 6 hours. So it would only go on automatically every 6 hours. And when the weather is like 90 plus degrees and humid, sometimes you need to water every hour. And that didn't cut it for me anymore. So I got rid of that, and I found this Melnor timer. With this Melnor timer, you could actually set it to run every hour, up to 24 times a day per zone. And I thought that would be amazing. That would totally automate my sprinkler system here, and then I could focus on all the other million things that small farm, a farmer has to focus on. So today I just want to talk about how this thing works, and I'll show you all the little modes on it, and it's pretty cool. All right, so here is the Melnor timer that I'm now using. It has two zones here. I have a spigot to connect each of my lines. And now you can see here, zone 1 is set. I set the time for 12 o'clock and then 12:30 for zone 2. And you click this middle button here, and that's the time. And now you can select a start time that you want your sprinkler to start per each zone. So for zone 1 here, I have it to start at 8 a.m. And if I wanted to see for zone 2, I click this button down here. It says zone 1 or 2, and I see that is staggered to start at 8:30. So I have these spread out so they don't obviously overlap with each other, and that has been working really well. And I have it set, let me go back to zone 1. So I have it set for how long? For 15 minutes to run my overhead sprinklers, and it's going to run me every 2 hours. But I could change that to every 1 hour, you see. But if I needed to do that, but for now, I just have every 2 hours for 15 minutes, and that works really well. So yeah, that's how this timer works. It's very, very simple. And for zone 2, I have it start at 8:30, so it's not going at the same time for 15 minutes like the other one, every 2 hours. How awesome is that? So now I don't have to come out here every hour or two and flip the little switches to turn one side off and the other on. Now it just does what I want it to do. And today, it rained a bunch this morning, so I just have it turned off, and there's a rain delay button that you could just press, and it turns off for the day. I haven't used that setting yet, but that's pretty cool. I actually don't use the rain delay. I usually just turn off the hose head by our house where all the water comes from, and that's what I do when it rains. So here is this Orbit one zone timer that I was talking about, and I actually just set this up here at my hose head here, and this, I'm going to use this on, I have a smaller like mini garden plot in front of our house that I do a bunch of other things that I don't actually need to water as often, things like potatoes and onions and radishes, things like that. So I'm actually going to use this and set it on this how often, and I will set it to every 6 hours, and it'll just go on every 6 hours and water. And I actually have a different sprinkler that I'll show you right now that I got. It was a cheap one. It's not like my overhead sprinklers that I have over on the farm that I was just showing you and that I've done videos on. This one I think is more of like a lawn sprinkler, and I'll show you real quick how it works. But it covers almost basically exactly the size of the mini plot I have here in front of our house. But this is going to automate that sprinkler as well. So now I'll have sprinklers on all parts of the farm, which will be really cool. But before I show you that other sprinkler, this Y connector here, this I had on the bottom part here on the farm before, and this is how I was switching on and off each zone. I would put one zone on like this and turn another one off like that. And I had to do that every single time that I wanted a zone on and a zone off. But now that I have that Melnor timer over there, I don't have to do that. I could just set it once to the settings that I want, when I want it to turn on, and it'll go. But this, like I said, this works very well, and for if you just have one small garden area, this might be a really good timer to use. It wasn't very expensive either, and like I said, I'm still using it, so I'm actually going to post links to this timer and my new Melnor timer in the details show notes below this video if you would be interested in checking those out. So this here is the extra sprinkler that I got here for this field plot here. I don't remember exactly what this model is called, but I'll put the details for this sprinkler down there in the show notes as well. But this works really well. It just shoots up really high like a rainbow, and it goes to the left and it goes to the right, and it actually waters everything in really quickly. So even when I run this, I don't run it for very long because everything just gets soaked really quickly. So this works well for my little area. It's probably be better suited for like a lawn sprinkler, but this works for what I need, and now I don't have to spend time hand watering over here on this side of the farm. This side of the farm here, this is right in front of our house, and it's actually a work in progress. I neglected this area, and I haven't been weeding over here, which I need to get back on top of, but I have some garlic here. I've got some chickens here. I've got some more garlic there. I have some 2 rows of onions on each side of the garlic here that I need to weed. And I have a couple extra rows of carrots here that are growing in with the weeds. I gotta get over there. And I have a rabbit in the garden here. Where are you, Mr. Rabbit? I see you. Hey, get out of the garden, please. Thank you. But over here I have all my radishes and beets that are also taken over by weeds that I might lose this battle with the weeds. We'll see. I might just have to pull all the radishes that I can out of here and then just tarp it and kill the weeds and grass and put some more compost on top there. But this timer, this new sprinkler here goes up and down on both sides, and it covers this whole area perfectly. Might be about 50 feet here. Maybe it's more like 40 feet long, all of these rows. But it does a good job at that, and now I've totally automated my watering system, and that makes me happy. Because like I said, I've got lots of other things to do, like weeding, that I need to focus on. Can't be fiddling around with my water sprinklers all the time. Hello? Please announce yourself. You could leave. Thank you. Go. Go. Come on. Get out of the garden. But anyway, the way that I used this orbit timer over on the farm, and I did this all of last year and the beginning of this year, is I kept it on auto. I didn't use the how often timer, because 6 hours is just too far. So I would just set it on auto. I would hit manual, and then I usually would do at least 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, and then it would just turn on for whatever side, and I would keep switching one side off and one side on each time, so that I would run one side of the sprinklers at a time, and then I would do the other. And you could see how that would take up a lot of time and pull me away from other things. And now I don't have to do that because of the Melnor timer that I just got, and I'm really happy about that. Alright, and that's going to wrap up this video talking about my new water timer. I'm really happy with it to be able to automate part of my farm like that. It's making my life a lot easier. And I'm doing some other things as well that is making things on my farm run a lot smoother than it did last year. And maybe I'll do another video covering that if anybody's interested in that coming up. But anyway, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. I would really appreciate it. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. What you doing there, bud? Making a little nest somewhere? Hopefully not in my garden. Go ahead. Make my day.